What's up everyone, this is Alvin over at Contender Bicycles here in Salt Lake City in Park City, Utah. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about Ebikemotion X35 drive units and more specifically how to remove the rear wheel should you need to fix a flat or do something either in the convenience of your own home or on the side of the road in the middle of a ride. So it should be noted that this process is going to be largely the same on just about any Ebikemotion equipped bicycle, be it something like an Orbea Gain or a Colnago E-64 or even the new Cannondale Super 6 Evo. All you'll need is a handy dandy multi-tool like the one I have here, or something with an 8mm Allen key head. So the first step in removing the rear wheel of any bike is to make sure that the drivetrain is set up as easily as it can be to make removing the rear wheel a breeze. So here we'll move the chain into the smallest cog on this side right here and the smallest chain ring right over here. So if we'll just pedal through, cool, and then move that in there. That gives us plenty of slack on the chain and that gives us a little bit of leeway in making it easier to remove that rear wheel. The next step in removing this Ebikemotion equipped wheel is to remove the connector pins here. You'll find it on the 9 drive side chainstay of the bike. On this one you'll have to pull it out a little bit. On something like an Orbea Gain you're going to have to remove a cover or just about any other bikes, but it's either you're going to pull it out or you're going to pop off a plastic cover. This one is just a press fit, so you kind of wiggle them apart and there you go. So the next step in removing this rear wheel is to remove the bolts on each side. Simply put, it takes an 8mm Allen key right here, or you can take a open-ended wrench right here, but this 8mm Allen key is easy to carry. And then you'll just loosen both sides right there, so one side and the other side. It's important to note that this wheel is going to be a decent amount heavier than your standard rear wheel, so you need to brace for that wheel either with your leg like I'm doing or on the ground. Alright, so we have both bolts. They're loosened up here. And I'm going to just pull some excess slack from the other side of this cable here. It's clipped in, so I'm just going to give it some space to allow the rear wheel to come out. But once the bolts are loosened, you should be able to just pull this rear wheel right on out. There you go. So a couple things to note on this solid axle here, you'll see that it's flat on both sides. You'll also see that there are a few washers that go in with that bolt. So these are the 2 nuts and washers that you're going to need for this. You'll see that on the inside there's a little bit of a lip to it that sits right in the dropout and guides that rear wheel in. So you'll have that, and then this is just your standard nut that you'll use with the 8mm Allen on the inside. This washer right here you'll see has a little bit of a lip to it and that guides that wheel into the dropout. You'll see that this will go on the inside of the dropout and it'll sit kind of just like that, and then you'll have the bolt right there alongside it. So once you've done what you need to with the rear wheel, putting it back into the dropout and making the bike work again is fairly straightforward, and it's just reversing what you did. So I'm going to put this nut back in along with this washer right here. And just tighten that down a little tiny bit. And then like a regular bike, I'm going to feed this through the rear derailleur, get that chain right in there. And with a little bit of finesse, work this rear wheel into the dropout. So once again, you'll have washers as well as this bolt on both sides. And you'll have that washer there as like a guide for the dropout in that rear wheel axle. So you'll tighten up both nuts that are here. hand tighten them first, and you go in and you'll just tighten each side individually. Next, we're going to go back to this connector pin that's over here. Feed this back through. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to match up the lettering. On this side right here, you'll see that there's some lettering here. You'll see that there's some lettering on this side as well. We'll match those up. It plugs right back in. We're going to feed this back into the chainstay right there to take up some of the excess slack there might be underneath that dropout. And we're good to go. That's about it, everyone. If you have any questions about Ebikemotion equipped bicycles or any questions on how to work on these bikes, don't hesitate to give us a call during business hours. Alternatively, you can shoot us an email at info@contenderbicycles.com, visit our website at contenderbicycles.com, or check us out on social media as well. That's it, everyone.